Today, another dollar. But this time, it's not my dollar, it's somebody else's dollar. 3-bladed prop. Interesting. I bet it's efficient. Oh, this one looks cool too. Okay. Rocks versus boat. Rock always wins.
Now, of course, this is one of my favorite subjects, which is boats versus other objects, and typically, boats don't tend to win most of these contests. Kind of like right here, boat versus car, not a good battle to be in. Just like some of the things we'll witness in this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Now, I'm gonna call this one more of a draw. Boat versus dock, kind of a draw. Boat versus the people on the dock, boat wins. But you almost really got to give the boat the win overall in that one, because anytime the boat goes into the dock, things don't typically play out well for the boat. And then here's another one of those situations where the boat winds up winning, but that's because somebody made a boneheaded mistake. Here we can tell the Coast Guard and a sea tow are out there trying to stop a boat that apparently it appears somebody's gone overboard on that wasn't wearing the safety kill switch. So the boat continues on while somebody else takes a swim. Kind of the opposite of this situation. The boat tried to win in this one, but my man had a kicker and said, nope, we're keeping her rolling.
Like 3 weeks ago, it was the grand opening, and it was loud.
Oh, he's gonna hit the side. Is he gonna tip over?
Now it is definitely tough to tell exactly what's happening here. You can see the boat rocking a little bit, which makes me wonder if she's not set up right or if something's wrong with the bunks on this trailer. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Now, why would the trailer drop 2 inches like that? Oh, the Googans out there doing Googan things or making boneheaded moves in this case. Our guy right here is out there enjoying some fishing and things get a little out of hand. Again, I'm just assuming he's not wearing that kill switch lanyard either. Now, it's always interesting to get one angle and a partial version of the story, but it's even better when we get the second angle and you can kind of see everything that happened. Here, he came out of the lock, grabs the casting net, winds up casting, again trying to catch some bait fish. Here you can see he comes back over, messes with the wheel and the throttle for a moment, and I'm assuming he put it into reverse. Because here you're going to see in a few seconds it feels like the boat's going backwards, or maybe he kicked it into neutral and now the current's just grabbing him. And here he sees he's about to be into trouble, so he grabs the cast net, starts to run over and tries to fix it, and then as many of you know, so easily done in boating, you wind up overcorrecting and wind up in trouble. And typically when this happens, you wind up in a spot like this going for a little bit of a ride. Now our guy got really lucky in this one in the aspect that he didn't get knocked out of the boat. So many people in a situation like this, when you get set and flying back like that, could easily be knocked straight off the back of the boat. Our guy's able to hang on, get back to the throttles, and get this thing leveled out. Now, while our last guy didn't wind up going for a swim, this crew winds up in the drink. Always gotta double check everything the crew does. Don't assume your crewmates just did it right, because it looks okay. Before you go doing anything, especially out there on the water or in boating, always double check, give her a little shake, make sure she looks right before you go out there and just try and walk on. And also, always double check those heights before you try and clear the bridge. Now our guy here gets a little reverse action, a little bit denied, and of course a little bit of embarrassment because he gets caught on the camera here. But it's always bad to get caught goofing off and messing up once, but our guy, he winds up in double trouble. So here he winds up stuck and denied by the bridge, winds up getting turned around a little bit and heading back down the river, only to be denied again, but this time in a little different method. Instead of being denied by height, he's denied by depth, as the old keel on this boat winds up stuck in the sandbars he's going down. And speaking of sailboats being denied, I got a feeling our guy's gonna be stuck here for a little while as well. Now, it's not often we see a crew denied at the boat ramp trying to power out, but this crew, even with the truck and the boat, couldn't get her done. And just like the Titanic, this iceberg's gonna deny this boat as well, but fortunately these guys are able to float away. And speaking of floating away, our next crew probably should have took that same advice and had floated off the dock a long time ago before seeing this. Now our last crew might not be so happy they're stuck on the dock in a storm, but I'll tell you what, our guy right here would probably give anything to have his boat stuck on a dock in a storm instead of sitting right here. I mean, my only question is why? What happened to lead up to this? Of course, we got the guy in the water, so they were obviously doing some sort of water sports. My guess is they probably waked this boat first. Speaking of waking things, nothing like getting out there in the surf and having a little fun. I need to know what this racing sport is because I want to get involved in this. This looks like a blast. And now our next sport does not look like so much fun. This is definitely not the start of hunting season, but for those here in the southeast at least that have been out there on the first day of duck season in the morning, that's kind of what this feels like, right? 100 boats all starting up at once, ramming into each other, trying to get to the blind before anybody else. It always feels like a time of madness, just like the scene we see here. Now, one of my favorite debates to have in any internet forum is going to be right-of-way. It's always interesting to see what everybody's perception of which vessel actually has the right-of-way. One thing's for sure though, one of the key rules you always have to remember in boating is it's everybody's responsibility while you're out there to avoid an accident at all costs. It doesn't matter if that means you must break one of those rules to avoid that accident. Yet somehow I got a feeling this crew did not get that memo. Now our crew here is definitely taking extra safety precautions to try and make sure they don't wind up in any kind of accident with the pole. I'm not hating on it at all, actually. Go ahead, do what you gotta do to get it done and get it done safely out there on the water. And speaking of getting things done safely, I mean, I guess one way to bring her in is just to beach her, but then you realize that beaching a yacht's not quite as easy to get off the beach as you might think, as this crew found out the hard way. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. You ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways? Be sure to hit us up at Instagram or Facebook at Broncos Guru and let us know when you might see your stories over here. Just like Willie0796, HLS Chris, Captain Dirt Diggs, Drew Michaels, Lawless W, and Adam Coolidge did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.